because now we want to get into discussing these ideas, these tips to help you not take things personally. This is such an important discussion, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, totally, absolutely. Um, this one can throw you right out. It
Hmm.
can really take you, it can take you off course, and it can be so quick as
Oh,
well.
yes. Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
there it is. When you were talking, I love the way you said the beams of light, the beams of light. It's
Beams
like
of light.
I visualized that, and I just felt so nurtured and loved. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah, uh, yeah, that was beautiful. But I will say the tip I'm going to say is our PEMS.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hello.
Hello, my dear. Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. And this is the beautiful follow-on from last week's episode because we actually made a hint about this one. Today, we're going to talk about tips to help you not take things personally. And that's referring back to our favorite. We both love talking about the 4 agreements. Such an important one. But in our conversation last week, we were talking about how sometimes people find that that one's the toughest one, not taking things personally. So
Hmm.
that's what we're going to riff on and find out tips and ideas. But before we get into that, let's just bring ourselves into this present space and time, into this moment. We like to do this quick, bring your attention into this moment, heart coherence type of exercise. So just wherever you're sitting or lying or listening, just take a nice deep breath into your heart space. Feel your belly expand with that breath and now sigh it out of your mouth. Just that helps us land into the moment. And if it feels comfortable for you, perhaps you could put one hand on your heart space and one hand on your belly and take another nice deep breath. Feeling yourself plugging in to Mother Earth, plugging in to this beautiful, nurturing energy that we all have access to. We just don't always remember to take a moment to plug in and
Mm-hmm.
feel that loving energy come back into your heart space. And now, in whatever way is right for you, feel yourself creating a connection or a link to the universe, to the cosmos, to Father Sky, whatever feels right for you. Just feel yourself connecting to that expansive, loving energy. Good. And connecting to that. And now breathe in that beautiful, nurturing, supportive energy into your heart space. And just pause here for a moment, recognizing that you are a beloved being, beloved by Mother Earth and Father Sky. And from that recognition, let's all connect our energies. So in your mind's eye, just sharing your own loving energy. It could be a ribbon, a stream, a beam of light, whatever color, creating. And as we create this, I invite you to imagine, envisage, pretend that we are actually constructing an interweaving of beams of light that creates a blanket of love encircling this entire planet and beyond. And anytime you need to, you can come back to this visualization. All you need to do is put your hand on your heart and take a deep breath and allow yourself to feel that beautiful, nurturing energy. It's always there. We just need to remember that we can lean into it. So take one more nice deep breath. And if you had your eyes closed, gently opening them. And we encourage you to grab some form of note-taking device, whatever that is for you, because now we want to get into discussing these ideas, these tips to help you not take things personally. This is such an important discussion, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. This one can throw you right out. It can really take you, it can take you off course, and it can be so quick as
Oh,
well.
yes. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
There it is. When you were talking, I love the way you said the beams of light. The beams of light.
Beams of light.
I visualized that and I just felt so nurtured and loved.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful. But I will say the tip I'm going to say is our PEMS, which we used to use to introduce our podcast, and we don't do it anymore. And we don't often talk about our PEMS that much as what we used to. But I will say the PEMS are really important to help you not take things personally. Now, PEMS is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. If the 4 pillars are out of alignment, your roof is going to fall off.
Yep.
Your roof is going
Your
to wobble.
table's wobbly.
Yeah, it's definitely where we're going. But when I'm thinking about taking things personally, it's like, oh, no wonder, because I had so much pasta last night. No wonder I'm not
Because I
feeling.
was exhausted or because I was upset about something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or I watched a movie and it really triggered me,
Mhm.
or anything, or somebody said something, or I haven't slept, or just anything, or I'm anxious to know what's coming up. Any of these things, which is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, if they're not in order, it can definitely discombobulate your day.
Mhm.
And now, I'm not saying you're going to use that as a label or an excuse or anything like that, but you can just see it and go, oh, of course. No
Right.
wonder I'm feeling off. I've had no coffee today. Or no wonder
Mhm.
I'm feeling off. I haven't had a drink of water. Or no wonder I'm feeling off. I haven't actually gone outside and appreciated the fresh air outside.
Right.
Or any of those things. And it's not an excuse, people. It's just a recognition of, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, it kind of unpacks the attachment, right?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
it. So just be aware of your PEMS, people. Be aware that if you're a night person, if you gel better at night, don't sign up for an early morning course.
Yeah.
If you're an early morning person, don't sign up for a nighttime course.
Mhm.
Like, just be
Mhm.
aware of these patterns that you have, and it allows you to move through life with a more ease and grace.
Right.
Going, oh, that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
All of
100%. 100%. And so that's that thing of being aware of what's going on. Because when we take things personally, it's almost like we've allowed the sting of something that's got nothing to do with us, really,
yes.
to come in. And that it's by having the awareness of, oh, like I said, oh, didn't sleep very well last night, or oh, I've got this issue that I'm trying to navigate or decide on. And so it's just once we have that awareness, then we're not a prisoner of the reaction, right?
Mm. I love that. And not prisoner of the reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the one that I was thinking of when you were describing this, though, was to not compare yourself to others. Because
Oh,
sometimes you can take things personally because somebody else is saying, you didn't do it right, or you didn't do it the way I would have done it. I have a situation in my life that's like
I
that.
I would have done it. That's that whole, that's the one. You're not doing it my way. Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
whole It's a whole podcast on its own.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But you
Yeah.
see, sometimes when somebody is projecting that to you, that's why, and actually that's a good part that we started with the PEMS, because sometimes if somebody's projecting like, you screwed it up, you should have done it the way I would have done it, right?
Yes, it is. It's not
It's,
about you.
it's not about you. But to then it's like, well, okay, that person maybe needs to do some work on themselves. It's gone, and so therefore you can just say thanks and reverse out of that situation.
Mm.
Right? Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So there's kind of a piece around boundaries in there too,
Yeah.
that if that's kind of coming out, right?
Yeah, I think yes, and well, I mean, when we compare, we literally take our eye off the ball on what we're doing. So
Yeah,
there's two aspects of that comparing. It's actually when we compare to others, and then it's receiving feedback from others as well. So there's
yeah,
actually two things that's going, the arrows are going both ways,
yep.
me to you, and then you to me. And I think with those, be aware that they're two separate things, but it's the same outcome.
It's the same outcome, but yeah, they're right. Because
But
and I like what you just said about taking your eyes off the target, eyes off the ball, because it can kind of come in without you realizing it if you don't see that there's two aspects there about the comparing yourself, right?
yeah, um, and it can get ugly. It can
Mm-hmm.
get ugly. And recently I talked about just you're talking about taking your eye off the ball. Recently I had somebody who had gone on my social media and approached all my followers. Instagram, you can see your followers. Approached all my followers and says, "Hey, I see you're following Deborah. I also follow
Oh,
Deborah. This is what I can do." And that was
oh,
pretty much I know, pretty much my competition. I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting tactic you've got there," and
yes.
and my PEMS shot through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Because that day wasn't a exceptional day for me, and I remember, and I went from 0 to 1,000. There was no 100. That 100 was just a blip, and I shot. And but then I calmed my farm and pulled myself back and went, okay, this is actually them. This is fully them. This is
Yep.
their stuff. They're seeing that I'm succeeding. They want a piece of my pie. By the way, there's enough pies out there. We can all eat our own pie
We can.
and share that. But it allowed me to look, but then it threw me into, um, oh no, why are they doing this? This is not right. This is unethical. Da da da. And then went, actually, you know what, Deborah, go back, stay in your lane. Just
Mhm.
acknowledge the people who shared that information that people are approaching them. You know, not reward them, but thank them for everything, and just go, yep, and that's them, and they've got their own, and just shut that down. Don't even get involved with their
Yep.
drama being my competition's drama. Just go, look, there's obviously a reason why they're doing it. Don't know why, not interested, but thanks for letting me know, and staying in my lane, because it did throw me a whole day,
Hmm.
which is usually never that long if I'm peeved occasionally. But it just threw me right, and I was angry. I was angry. I was stomping. I was everything. And then I went, you know what? This isn't about me. This is
No,
all about them.
it
And
is.
stay in your lane and keep serving, keep shining brighter. Let them put their own shades on if they're going to watch your social media. And it just literally pulled me back. But it gave me a day of, how do they? Who do they think they are? Trying to recruit people onto my train. Did you know they did this? Then I'm like, come on, Deborah, pull yourself back. This is not about you. And
Yep.
I did, but it did throw me out. So I think that um of that paragraph that I just said to you, there's a few little things in there as again, just remind yourself of your own genius and where you're
Mm-hmm.
going,
Mm-hmm.
staying in your lane. This is because as soon as I went out of my lane and I started jumping, it really threw me right out. And I wasn't serving from the heart again.
Yeah.
I was, I'm going to do a social media post about this. I'm going to do this. My ego puppy was jumping all around.
Well, that's actually similar to the story I told you recently, where somebody told me that she basically came to me and said one of my guided meditations had been copied by somebody else.
Mhm.
And that wasn't the first time that somebody had reported to me that my stuff, my stuff, my recordings, my approach had been used by somebody else.
Mm.
And I sat with it because it was very gracious of this person to point it out. I had no idea. But I sat with it and then I thought I needed to write back in response to this. And as I was feeling into it, I thought, it's not about me. And
Yeah.
nobody can duplicate me. Because what you just said is
Mm.
about staying in your lane and owning your own genius and your own talent. So somebody can take something I've written or something I've recorded even, and there's AI that will take a piece of recording and turn it into text so that you can
Yeah.
have the script, right? That's out there. But
Yeah.
nobody will ever replicate my talent, my uniqueness, my way of saying discombobulation or right? And so for me, that really helps to not take things personally, is because nobody can rip me off. Nobody can take um my content and rebrand it. Like it's still not going to fly. And that's about them, right?
We are so attached. I've had that done to me many, many, many times. People copy my stuff, and
Yeah,
people say it's a compliment. And if you can get your head around it's a compliment, that's great. Or you can just not even get your head around it's a compliment and just go, it's them.
it's them. Mhm.
Like, anyone can copy your content. It's just that they're publicly doing it.
Mm.
Just let them do it. Just that's my thing. But there is a time and a place clearly to pull people into line. I'm
Yeah,
going to say
yeah.
that's a nice one. I've got my a trademark with my name, and someone is constantly trying to appear and use that trademark, but we just shut my legal team just shut it down. It's like done,
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Not my thing, and I can just let it ride. But no, 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 no. But it's not personal. I just think they've seen something in me and they've gone, wow, I want to do that. I want a piece of that pie. Then so be it. But stay in your lane, Deborah. It's not mine. And I think that's the other thing, is also stay in your lane, is actually being able to delegate stuff.
Mm.
So I don't keep an eye on my trademark. I have a trademark professional person who just adds it to their list, I guess. I don't know. I know I pay a certain amount and they just keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
My trademark team, not my team, my I'm going to say a company that I've
Mhm.
hired do
Mhm.
that. They do that. I don't even think about it.
Right.
And they contact the people directly, they deal with it, and then they let me know this is what we've had. This is a report. And I love that because I don't need to know about it.
No,
And
you don't.
that really allows me to stay in my lane,
That's beautiful.
because otherwise I will get personal and I'll be like, what? Who are they? Tell me all about them. What are they doing? Why are they like, I don't need to know that stuff. I just want to stay with my genius, serving people the way I do, and not worry about that. People are eggheads sometimes.
But that, I mean, so that's when people copy things that we do, there is a mindset that says that's a form of flattery, because it's
Mm,
saying, gosh, you're that auspicious. You've got this beautiful message. So there is that, and I've actually got myself to that point a few
mm,
times. Uh,
yeah.
but again, the tip that I want to say here is that I understand why sometimes people will get into that kind of feeling, like, if somebody's uh, yelling at you or saying you did this or you didn't do this.
Yeah.
Um, my favorite piece, and this is something that I've used in some kind of abrasive situations, is what I keep repeating in my mind, because I won't say it out loud, because that would just add more fuel to the whatever was going on. It's not about me. That's it. I just keep saying it's not about me. This is not about me. It's not
Yeah.
about me. So if somebody is saying, you did this, and you forgot that, it's not about me. Now, the caveat to this, and this is we talked about the PEMS check-in, but the other part too is to check, I'm going to say, check in with your heart's guidance. Are you
Mm, mm,
following your own heart? Are you being compassionate and really aligned with integrity with your own truth?
Yeah.
Because that sometimes, if we take things personally, it could be that we've set that up, our higher self may have set that up to kind of say, we tap on your shoulder to say, hey, come
Mm.
back into alignment with your truth, with your heart's energy, right? So therefore, it's a gift. Like if you're starting to take somebody's abrasiveness, it's like, okay, let them off the hook. It's got nothing to do with them anymore. This is about you being authentic and loving and kind and in integrity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And there was an event at the weekend, or an incident at the weekend, where somebody did something and they went, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what they've done, da da da." And I went, just let them. There's something going on that they have to do that. You don't know what's going on for them. And if any, and but my head went, I feel sorry for them.
Mm,
I feel sorry that, and then I went, okay, that's not a great place to be, feeling sorry for somebody else. But I have that empathy that, oh, you poor unfortunate person, that you have to do that without knowing um what needs doing, like
mm,
without seeing the bigger picture here. It's a shame you've taken that angle, because there are so many other beautiful angles you could have taken, and you've
right,
chosen a real hard, ugly path. And
right.
so I have that. So when I think, you know, when I think about that, it just goes to a different heart place for them.
Yeah.
See, but not a, I'm going to say not a sorrow, like, oh, woe is me
Mm,
type thing, but definitely something along that aspect in there.
mm,
Yeah. If that all makes sense. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah. But I was just looked up. I had, you know me, I like to go after my inspirational quotes. And this one came up today. And it,
Yeah.
it kind of encapsulates what you just said. This is a quote by Kate Winslet, actually. She said, it's very easy to be judgmental until you know someone's truth.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly what you just said, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it
So
is.
it's easy to say, oh my God, look what they did or what they didn't do. That's awful. But you don't know what their truth was or what was going on that created that
Yeah.
choice or situation, right?
And their their life is um truth. Their life is because we've all got these stories, and that's why we are the way they are. So Moira has stories that have allowed her to mold to her. I
Mhm.
have those. So we don't know what they've gone through. And people's, we go back to that PEMS again.
Yeah.
If they've had poor sleep, when somebody hasn't eaten, what is that called when someone hasn't eaten? Hangry.
Oh, I was gonna say starvation or fasting, but
Yeah, yeah, when they're hangry and they've got to,
hangry.
and that's just the PEMS. People used to, when I used to work in a corporate environment, if people hadn't had their cigarette, or now I'm talking going back when you could smoke at the workplace, like outside, definitely, but I'm talking like going right back.
Mm.
But if they hadn't had their smoke, or they hadn't had their coffee, or they hadn't had their thing,
Yeah.
or
Oh, don't talk to that person.
yeah, don't talk, but you get known. Don't talk to so and Charles until he's had his coffee and his smoke,
Right.
because you're not going to get anything out of this. Like, what? I learned very quickly that people needed their coffee, their smoke. They needed those little things, which is all part of having their PEMS in order. All part of
Yeah.
making sure their pillars are in order. Like,
Hmm.
don't talk to me until I've had my coffee, or don't talk to me till I've, you know, but I love that people can recognize that, and they're open and honest. So I think that's the other thing, apart from that, is also to share to people. Just say, hey, I haven't had a great sleep last night. Just be patient with me today. Or so it's actually owning it and being able to express that without doing it as a weakness.
Yes. So I'm kind of encapsulating that to say we
I've
always
got
need to have
one bullet points.
we always have to have self-awareness and be present to what's going on, but then ask for what we need.
Yeah.
Right? Inform others for what we need. So that's actually got a little bit of self-awareness, of boundaries, and teaching people how we roll the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also doing it without being an a-hole, but without being sad also.
Well, it's coming from a sense to the way I was seeing that is coming from a sense of confidence and
Yes.
self-knowledge. It's like this is how that's what I'm saying. This is how I roll. Um, I've talked to you about this before. I have a rule, not really a rule. Well, actually kind of is a rule. I never look at social media or engage with anyone in the morning until I've done my self-care. So I get up and I drink my water and I do my qigong and I meditate and I decide if I'm going to journal or not. And
Yeah.
then I get to invite in the world.
So that's a like manage your time your way, isn't it?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that
Yeah,
yeah,
because then you don't allow managing your time your way, so that's really finding what works for you about this is the sacred self-care, the stepping into your day. Do you know that mindset for me came from something that I heard Marianne Williamson talk about? And she actually specifically said that about if you, let's say you wake up, your alarm goes off, you pick up your phone and you start doing doom scrolling, or you start going through Facebook and oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. And look, that person's doing this, and oh my God, look at that, look at that. You just allowed that energy to dictate the energy for your day.
yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm the boss of me and my energy. So I need to feel nurtured and balanced and calm and soothed, soothing my nervous system, whatever it is I need in my right
Mm.
way. And that's what I'm really encouraging everybody else to do. What do you need? Maybe you do need the coffee or the go for the walk or walk the dogs or journal or meditate but you have to know that what's the right way for you, right?
When you were saying that, I go back to my PEMS again. I also want to put down the caveat of be flexible, because if you have to have your coffee and your muffin or scone or whatever first thing in the morning when you get to work, if you don't have it, you have a conditioning that this is habit, I've got to do this, or I get cranky. But sometimes something happens and somebody wants you before that, before you've had your coffee and your scone. So be flexible with it, be aware of it, but just go, okay, I'm not going to get my coffee in yet. I'll get that in after this meeting. So being a little bit flexible, not being so rigid in your timings and your scheduling as such.
Okay, but
Yeah.
with the pieces that I was saying, you can't be flexible with them.
I was going to say, but
But yeah,
yes,
your sacred self-care has to happen.
because you've got to put yourself first. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So be aware that if other people want stuff, you definitely have to look at what it is, but also you are your number one priority.
yeah,
You are that person.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that because to your point, what you just talked about is flexibility with a habit. That I need to have my coffee and a scone, that's a habit.
Yeah, totally.
It's a nice to have, but it's
Totally.
not I'm going to allow somebody else's energy to dictate my day if I don't have my coffee and my scone, right? So
Yeah.
I completely agree with you that you can't say, oh, I'm going to be cranky if this doesn't happen. It's like, well, you just set that up for yourself anyway.
It's a core belief you've thrown out there and stuck. Yeah, absolutely. So the flexibility is be flexible with things, but also know what's right for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna add, but know what's right for you.
Yes,
Um,
and know what's right for you, but also, even with the sacred self-care pieces, is that knowing what's right for you because it's a I always like to say that the processes and things that I suggest, I encourage people to have a light hold on it. Meaning, okay, I'm going to do 10 minutes meditation, or now today I'm just going to do a 2 minute because I do have other things to come, right?
I was just thinking, even if you have a 30-minute meditation and you've only got 20 minutes, 20 minutes is better than nothing.
Exactly.
10 minutes.
Exactly.
Don't get shitey that your 30-minute meditation can be done in 20 minutes. Just be accepting that 20 minutes is going to be the perfect amount for you right today.
Well, let's
And
face it, focusing on your breath for 2 minutes is pretty good. That's if that's all you got, but do it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we drumming these tips in enough for you people? Yeah.
I just realized with the two tips that we were talking about, the sacred self-care and like filling you up, putting you as priority number one, but then being flexible with your habits and your beliefs.
Yeah.
I think that it's such an important one to realize that everything's changeable and movable, and you get to do it, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's my choice. I'm not going to beat myself up. So what I'm thinking of is watch your stories about it.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
So, and what I was thinking about is what you were just saying is the 30, I have to have my 30 minutes meditation, I have to have the 30 minutes. Well, how come? What's the story that's kind of crafting that? Because to the point, 5 minutes is good. And
Yes.
that, mine does change each and every day. Sometimes I do half an hour, sometimes I just do 5 minutes. But the thing is I do meditate every single day. So this is what I'm saying about the things that we do. I encourage you to look for things that are scalable,
Yeah.
meaning it's great to do an hour of something, but it's also okay to do 5 minutes of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And you can and that is that total flexibility of just being able to slot things in
Mm-hmm.
you. And my partner's crazy in the gym in the morning. Crazy in the gym in the morning. Does an hour and a bit, and we've got a gym kitted out in our garage, and she gets in there, but she beats herself up if she hasn't got in there, or she's woken up later and she's like, oh, I've got the 9 o'clock meeting, no, I'm gonna, and she's like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm like, well, just do half an hour. Oh no, I've got to do a whole hour. I've got to do my, and I'm like, wow, okay, what about just doing what you can and then later in the day doing the rest of it? Oh, that won't
Mm-hmm.
work. But she's got that
So
solid.
she's really rigid for it.
Yeah, it's written, and she's like, this keeps me going, and I get that. I totally get that. But it's also being able to, and when she's sick, oh my God, that's a fun one because she hasn't been exercising for a week. And
Right.
got to go to exercise. It's like, okay, well, where else are you exercising? So it's definitely been a having that flexibility to go, okay, let's just do a little bit. A little bit's better than nothing. And knowing that back to your PEMS, if you're not well or you haven't slept or you haven't eaten or there's a lot going on in your mind,
Hmm.
be aware of that and just having that acknowledgement in there.
Yeah, I like that. Acknowledging, staying present to what is, because I can identify with your partner a wee bit because you know that I do my
I was
10,000
walking.
steps every day.
Yeah,
10,000 steps every day. And to be honest with you, I have actually kept it up the entire
winter.
Winter, sometimes it was like more, I'm going to the mall to walk a few laps around the mall.
Yeah. That's what my doctor said to me once. He said, go out at night and just walk around town and look at all the shops. He said, you're a woman, you like to, he goes, just go out at night, just wander up and down the main street, just do it about, half a dozen times or so. He said, next thing you got a 30-minute walk and you're looking in all the shops, and next thing you
And
get,
then
you're
it
going
was
to,
fun.
yeah. And I remember him saying, I was like, that's just stupid. He goes, you'll be surprised the amount of women who walk in the shops at night to get away from them. And I'm like, really? I'm not going to go walk down the main street just to prove, but I like that idea
Mhm.
because you're right, just for you, you're flexible enough. This is what I want to do.
Yep.
How can I fit it in? Okay, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to walk around. I'm going to do that and get my steps up.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
it's
Well,
something different to
when
fresh
it's
air.
when it's minus 20 with the wind chill, then I think I'm gonna opt for that because I still want steps. I still want the steps. But there's a sense of kindness. I think it's such an important piece to come to with it to because to your point, you have to acknowledge, and this is a lot of what we've talked about keeps going back to checking in with what's going on with your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being.
Says the
Like,
PIMS is right there all the way through. I say we
yeah, it's
beyond.
been our constant. That's what you said. You said we haven't talked about it for much, so I guess we had to really, really underline it a lot. But what I was thinking of is uh and I'm surprised we've got this far in our conversation and gratitude hasn't really come in.
Oh, well, I
I
mean,
don't
yes,
know. What's up
yes,
with that? What I was thinking was gratitude and appreciation because sometimes somebody might say something or you're taking something personally like, oh gosh, I didn't do this right, or I did drop the ball over there, or I shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff.
yeah.
But what can you do? Sometimes this propensity to take something personally, it's usually a criticism, it's a being told off,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe being judged through somebody else's agenda or idea or misconceived idea. So that's if you can park all of that, I'm not going to engage with any of that, but coming into some gratitude of we're not here to prove ourselves to anybody. So if you are in a situation where somebody is judging you or telling you off, or that's them. They need to do their own work. Whether you and it's not up to you to then turn around and say, you need to do your work.
Yeah. 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 You need to. You need to. You need to. Yeah.
But it's just kind of unpacking things that happen like that and owning what it is you need to do. And that's why I'm saying is appreciation. Because maybe if we get triggered by something, it's a beautiful gift to say, oh, look, there's something that I can unpack and work on and deal with
Oh,
in my own heart space.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really
There's a
people. Where does I'll add it to my long list of things I've got to work on mentally about those ones.
yeah,
Those ones that we're
those
talking.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, when you were talking about that, is one of my favorite sayings, or not favorite sayings, is they're not a worthy opponent.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
because there's things on social media, and I do get onto the social media a little bit and have a snoop, and people put something up, and I go straight to the comments. I'm like, oh, that's a funny. Let's just go straight to the comments, and the comments are incredible. What would she know? She's this. What would he know? He's this. You know, what you're 40 and you're overweight, and you're telling us how to lose weight, and like there's these are all these things that people, and you're just like, oh my God, why would you even, my head goes, why would you even say that to that person? And they hide behind their keyboard. But, I do smile at that stuff because I go, they're not a worthy opponent.
Yeah.
You're going to engage with people who are not in your bandwidth
Right.
of, sometimes you can't please some people. We all know those ones you can't please. You try. If I just do this, or if I give them a discount, or if I just refund them, or if I just, like people go, do you think I should do this? I'm going to be worried if I don't refund them, I've got the terms, and people just go, they really just dance around.
Yeah.
So just know sometimes people are not a worthy opponent, and you're spending more time and energy trying to resolve something that's going to be unresolvable.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think recognizing that is actually, you know what, it goes back to staying in my lane, not my monkey, not my circus. It's like, you know what, if you want to say that I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm a female in business, go for it. Really,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you're not my kind of person. I know where I've succeeded. I don't need your whatever. But it
Approval.
does, yeah, you're anything,
Mm-hmm.
anything. But
Mm-hmm.
it does go back to that PEMS of how it can affect you in that
Mm-hmm.
day
Mm-hmm.
again. But just knowing that sometimes people are just, it's not worth it. You're
Yeah.
not going to ever get a result that's going to make them happy. So you can dance all you want, but at the end of the day, they're just not worth going and engaging with that. I know we're running out of time, and I'm sure Moira's got plenty more. Do you want to throw another one out there, Moira,
Yeah,
before
I
we?
do. Just one more here, just based on what you said, and that's you often say that, not a worthy opponent, but what I was thinking of, and this is one of my favorites, is making sure that you're being the observed and the observer in the
Oh,
same
love
moment.
this. Yeah,
And so what I mean by that is that when we have these worthy or unworthy opponents, if we get triggered by something, when we take that space of being the observed and the observer, you kind of go, oh gosh, you just
yeah,
got triggered by that. And
yeah,
so the observer holds compassionate space and says, okay, we're going to sit later and journal that or work it through or speak it through or talk it out with somebody that can hold unconditionally loving, supportive space.
yeah.
Oh, that would be me and you.
Yeah. Who would that be? Um, hmm, hmm. Yeah, me, me. Yeah, you're right. It is. It is. But I love the observed and the observer because you just literally, and for me, that takes emotion out of it.
Yes.
It literally just goes, I'm just looking at the event
Yep.
and I'm just seeing it going, wow, wow. And it doesn't completely take the emotion out, clearly, but it does open your eyes to, oh, I can see this at play here. And you just have
Yeah,
a different dimension that you're looking at, would
absolutely.
be.
Because it brings some kindness in. Right. So to me, it's when you're observing, you're doing it from a place of kindness, of like, oh,
Yes.
kindness
Yeah.
and curiosity too, probably,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
It all goes back to that, goes back to kindness. Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
To-
Yes.
Totally. Again,
Okay.
again, again. So let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Our tips to help you not take things personally. Grab that note-taking device if you didn't before, unless you are driving. Then don't. Then don't. We'll just say that. So let's jump into. I'm going to say the first one because I did lose a little bit of everything after that. Surprise. Just a little habit that I'm having lately. So the
Hmm.
first one was your PEMS.
Hmm.
Which is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Be aware of your PEMs and check in on them. And if you, Moira said, your awareness is you're not a prisoner of reaction.
Mm.
And I love the way Moira worded it, but it was just actually not being a prisoner to the decisions and actions that are going on for me. So your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. If you've had a poor sleep or if you had a great sleep, you're going to tackle things differently. If you've eaten that morning, and depending on what you've eaten, you're going to tackle things differently. If you've had the dog on your bed and he slept on your legs all night, and you are going to have a different reaction to your day. So if you've watched a movie and something's triggered you, be aware of your PEMs.
Yeah.
They are literally just an awareness and a check-in tool to go, oh, of course, because yesterday when my child told me something, I didn't react as much as I did today
Yeah.
because there's other factors at play. So just be aware of your PEMs, everybody.
Yes. The next one that I wrote down was to not compare yourself to others. And that's when we kind of unpacked it, that there's two ways of comparing ourselves to others. It's like the internal one where we're kind of like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing it that way. But then also receiving feedback, because this is the one where taking things personally, if somebody's being critical or judgy about something you did or didn't do, uh, that's about them, still is about them. And yes,
Yes.
it can be difficult, but as soon as this is when I suggested, and I've actually done this one before, keep repeating in your head, this is not about me, this is not about me, it's not about me, it's not about me. It is not
Yep.
about you.
It is. It is. No matter how much your name is on the title. Yeah. Of everything. It is debscooper.com is about me.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
I love that. I did have not compared down. The next one I have is staying in your lane,
Yeah.
and which is the not my monkey, not my circus, and staying in your lane and just being present to what's your why? Why are you doing this? What's the purpose of this? And focusing on that so you're not getting distracted by outside discombobulation.
Yeah, outside criticisms or judgments or projections.
Yeah.
And that's when you actually had added on to that one, saying that we all have our own unique talents and our own genius.
Mm,
And so staying in your lane says, this is my genius, and I'm carrying on down the road with this,
yes.
sharing this, being of service with this.
Yeah,
That's my mission, right?
I know.
Mhm.
And listen to me, I know. And I love that when you're staying in your genius and you stay in your lane, stuff hits you and falls off. It's like a hot potato. People throw
Yeah.
stuff and just like, oh, I haven't got time for that. No, no,
Yep.
not my monkey. Like this is where I'm going. Don't have time for that. And that just shuts so much out
Mhm.
that you
Yeah,
don't have
there's
to be.
such a level of confidence with that too, staying in
Mm,
your lane, right?
totally, totally. Uh, the next one, oh no, you're doing the next one, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll do, yes, that's the next one was when I said check in with your heart. Are you aligned with your integrity? Sometimes if you are taking something personally, or you kind of you hear somebody judging or criticizing or even internally, check to see, am I coming authentically from my heart space? Am I leading with love? And am I aligned with it? It's just a check-in. Again, lots of these tips today are about checking in and evolving your awareness of what is, right?
Mm. Well, it is. It's the awareness, opening your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Again,
Mm-hmm.
again. Did we just talk about copying and flattery? Or is that no? No, we didn't. Okay. I've somehow written down, well, copying and flattery.
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah, we did talk about that. That
We
was
did.
actually as that was a part of the staying in your lane
Mm,
part because of the, yeah, you're saying copying is was a form of flattery. I
yes.
don't know where I did with that. That
So being aware of yeah, because I was like, hang on, where's that note? Copying and flattery, it's just being aware that when people copy you, there is a level of flattery, but also have a little bit of empathy towards them that they have to copy your content, but
right.
not from an a-hole point of view. And I say that, and I still tap into my a-hole, just seeing it. Oh, that sounds wrong. That sounds wrong
That was pretty
on all levels.
OMG.
Okay, and that threw me right out.
So are you aligned with your heart? Are you in line with your integrity?
And Moira's just going to scoop that up. So just be aware when people are copying that. Just have that level of okay, they're doing that for their own reason. Let me get back to staying in my lane. I'm just going to get out of that conversation.
But do you know the when we were talking about that too, because I had a example as well where I said somebody had copied one of my meditations. Um, but the thing for me, I'm not taking it personally. It's like, yes, it is a form of flattery, but nobody can replicate the truth of me, my
Yeah,
energy, my vibe, my way of doing it, my nuance. And so I won't take it personally because it's kind of like, well, you know, have fun with my content, because it's still not going to show up as me,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think that's a beautiful thing. I've written down here, it's easy to be judgmental until you know their truth.
Yeah, that was that Kate Winslet quote.
Oh, that's it. Because I was like,
It's very easy to be judgmental until you know someone's truth.
and they say don't hire someone unless they've walked in your shoes beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And it is being aware of that, but also hiring somebody, if you're going to hire someone who's had their experiences before. No one has an experience like you.
No.
Everybody we have our own experience, but they've had aspects of your experience. So I think that, but I love that it's easy to be judgmental until you know their truth, and then you have it. Oh, well, that makes sense. No wonder you're like this because you're dealing with this, or no
Yeah,
wonder.
exactly. Yeah,
And it opens your eyes again. This whole thing, tips to help you not take things personally, is about awareness, isn't it? Opening our
yep,
eyes and awareness again. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
The next one I have here, oh, yes, it's all about self-awareness. Self-awareness and asking for what you need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so informing others, but also having a sense of boundaries, right? So it's like if I need some quiet time before I jump into a project, then I need to tell other people I just gonna go off over here by myself and have some quiet time. And to evolve that, right?
Yeah.
This is how I roll. Do it with confidence, do it with kindness, right?
And your way. Yeah. Your way. Make sure you're doing it your way, not how others want it done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Be flexible is is be flexible, but also know what's right for you. And I just
Yes.
want to add that caveat in there because, but be aware of this is where we talked about I can't do it. I can't talk to you until I've had my coffee and scone. Actually, coffee and scone doesn't go together, does it? It's a tea and scone.
It is a tea and scone.
The tea and scone, isn't it? And I think about that. What do they do in America and Canada? What are they tea and scone or are they coffee and scone? Or do they do scones? I don't even know.
I don't know. I just have coffee. I just a straight up coffee gal. I don't have
My,
with anything with my coffee.
oh, no. Okay, a scone, a scone. Yeah, that's very British, isn't it?
It is very
Scone.
British, yes. And it is
Mum,
a tea and scone in Britain for sure.
it is a tea and scone in
Hmm.
Britain. Yeah, just went. Yeah, my mum, when she comes to visit me, mum and dad, they're like, "Oh, have you got any new scone places around?" I'm like, no, I haven't tried all the scone places, but mum can tell me where the best scone places in my vicinity are. Like, oh, that place. Oh, they didn't do a good scone. Don't have the date and thingy one, but have the other one. My
Thanks, Mum.
mum's,
Thanks, Mum.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, People are like, "What's a scone?" A scone's just exceptional. Google it if you don't know what it is, and have it with a tea or have it with a cup of coffee, whatever, or water. Do
Or
whatever's.
water. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Be flexible is what I'm trying to say. Be flexible, but know what's right for you. So if you function, make sure it's not a habit. I need my coffee before I talk to somebody, or any of that stuff. Actually, just go. Okay, I can have my coffee after I've talked to them. I'm still
Mhm.
going to have it. Be flexible when things come into play.
So we had these two, we were talking about flexibility because I was saying about sacred self-care that you need to still do that at the top of
Yes.
your day. So you craft your best way, whether that's meditating or going outside or grounding yourself or doing chakra balancing or qigong or yoga. But that, yes, you can be flexible. That's when I talk about scalability. Like
Mm,
I like to do a 30-minute meditation, but I don't always have that amount of time because maybe I have an appointment booked. So therefore I'm going to do 5 minutes. Right.
yeah.
And so it's about being flexible, but not so flexible that like the coffee, yes, that coffee is a habit. That's part of the it's nice to have, right?
Yes.
But the sacred self-care part, they create the soothing, calming energy vibe your way, so that you can then interact with your day your way. And actually helps you not take things personally because you've got your energy bubble in place, right?
Just gonna say, if you've had all those things, it's just like whatever comes your way, like, yeah, kapow,
Yeah,
kapow.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, bring me the hot potato and I'm not even catching it. I think,
Yep.
yeah.
It's off, it's over, not even touching
Yeah,
it.
that's um the next tip I have is acknowledgement.
Mhm.
And acknowledge what is. Acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge what's going on around you, acknowledge, but the moment you can acknowledge anything that's happening to you, you'll discover it's actually for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if we're not acknowledging it, it's everyone else, it's everyone else's problem. But if you can actually take ownership and acknowledge that, it's actually showing you that you are in flow and you can acknowledge it and move on.
Yep. I like it. The next one I have is gratitude and appreciation.
Mhm.
Gratitude and appreciation because, in not taking things personally, maybe you do get criticized or chastised about something or somebody's acting out something. That may be saying, okay, I'm not going to do this over there or with them, but what
Yeah,
can you do? Every
yeah.
time we hit something that says not going that way or not doing it that way or not speaking to that person, there's something you can do and that lights you up. And so it's about interacting with that, but always coming to some like, oh, I appreciate this. This look what I get to do now. Right?
And the next one I had was what can you do?
Yeah.
do? What do I get to do now? Or what do I choose to do now? And there's that level of invigoration in you. You
Yes,
know,
it's an exciting, big
yeah, it's that,
smile and exciting energy. Yeah.
and even just that can flip your whole day around. Just that.
Yes.
What can I do? What do I get to do? What do I get to do right now? Yay, yay, yay.
Hmm.
Can just literally take your PIMS to a higher level up.
Definitely.
And you're not taking things perfectly when you're in that state. Yeah.
No, no, because you're energized and you're in flow. So it's like you realize what everybody else is thinking or saying's got nothing to do with me. You're
Yeah,
off the hook.
that's
You're off
it.
the hook. The next one I written down was not a worthy opponent. That's a Deb one.
I know.
Not a worthy opponent. So sometimes there are times where we need to stand our ground or say that's not okay, that's unacceptable. Uh, but there's not a big tussle or going back and forth. But we only do that with the the situations or the people or the opponents
Mm,
that are worth your bandwidth, worth your energy. Anything that's not, eh, there you go. Water off
yeah.
a duck's back.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Done. That's the one. Um, this is when Moira, I love that, not a worthy opponent. Yeah. Keyboard warriors. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Keyboard
yeah.
warrior.
Yeah. Yep.
The next one I'm gonna say is the observed versus the observer.
Being both.
When you see it all at play, you have a different level of awareness and kindness to yourself because you're literally removing yourself from, I said the emotion from it. You can still see things and have
Mhm.
emotion, definitely. I'm not saying completely, but you're no longer, you're a third person looking in on what's going on.
With
And
love and kindness.
with kindness, because when you see that from a third person, you see things very differently.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you definitely do not take things personally because it's kind of like, oh, look, there's a wee trigger there. Now I need to have some. Just need a big hug. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Now it is. And I know that's all the tips we have, but I just want to add one more.
Of course you
What
do.
tips to help you not take things personally? Be present in the moment.
Hmm.
Because when you're present, which goes on from the observer, when you're present, you can actually see things a lot clearer.
Yeah,
When you're present with what it is, you can see, feel, and hear things a lot clearer. So the more present you are with your body, with the awareness around, with your thoughts, when you're present, you see things at a completely different level.
100%. That's such an important piece because you're not judging or seeing or feeling things through the lens of something that happened in the past or something that you're worrying about for in the future. Because
Yeah,
right here, right now, there's crystal clarity. All is well right here, right now, and we're grounded and safe. And yeah, beautiful tip.
yeah. Ending on that one. Ending on that one. What a beautiful, what a nice. So, tips to help you not take things personally. There they are, people.
There
You've
they are.
got them all. So Moira opened the podcast with a heart coherent exercise, which is a beautiful way of grounding us back to our heart.
Mhm.
And when we think about our tips to help us not take things personally, I would love you to look at your tips you've got and just go, what's your favorite tip here? What's something that I can do just today? What's something that I can do just for today to help me shift, to make me think things differently, to shift me from this 8 being chaotic to a 6 or a 7 or a 7.5, whatever that is. Have a look and see what those tips are. But I want to make sure that everyone is playing life to the fullest. And when I say the fullest, not letting these things trip us up and fall down and keep us down. I'm all for tripping up and falling down, but getting back up. And so this is what our
Yeah.
podcasts are about, is actually getting back up, moving forward for whatever's going on around us and not letting us get stuck. So in wrapping up, and after listening today to everything that you heard, all our little notes, all our techniques, all our tips, what's your highest priority action step you're going to do today to achieve the goal you're looking for? What is that highest priority action step you're going to do today that's going to help you achieve the goal that you're looking for? And I'd love you to share that. Share that in our Facebook group. Send that to us in a message. Let us know what that tip is that you love, because we want to emphasize on that. We want to wrap that into a love bubble and send that out to the universe, but also be aware that what tips really work for people. So let us know. That's it, people. That's it. I'm signing off with Moira because we're on to our next podcast, whatever that's going to be. We're actually not recording a podcast right now, but we're going to debrief about some stuff because our vision is getting bigger and bigger and bigger on what we're going to do with this podcast. So hold on to your britches, people, because things are moving. There's some evolution happening. Would love to get some more feedback from you, what you liked, what you don't like. Other than that, we are just a message away. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, listeners. And let us know how you're going. Let us know how you...
I love that. Thank you, dear Deb. This has been an awesome conversation. Thank you, listeners. And we'd love to hear from you.
Fabulous. Thank you, everybody. That's us signing off, or me signing off anyway. Yeah.
That's us signing off. We will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.